All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be looking at the book Never Give Up, and we're asking a really simple question. Is this book the right way to get inside the mind of Alibaba founder Jack Ma? Does it give you the direct access it seems to promise, or is it something else entirely?
It's a question we all have, right? How do you really get inside the head of someone who's done incredible things? It's almost like you want to log in, see their operating system, figure out how they tick. But what's the password?
So, you type in the name, you're ready to go, but you still need that key. And the book we're talking about today, Never Give Up, Jack Ma in his own words, it's basically positioning itself as that key. The real question, though, is what kind of access does it actually give you?
So let's talk about the promise of this book. It says it'll give you Jack Ma in his own words. I mean, that sounds about as direct as it gets, doesn't it? Okay, so the first thing you absolutely have to know is that this is not a biography. I'll say it again, it's not the story of his life. What it is a collection, a carefully picked list of over 200 quotes from speeches, interviews, you name it. Think of it less like a movie and more like a really good highlight reel.
And it's an incredibly quick highlight reel, too. The whole thing is just 144 pages. Seriously, you could knock this out on a short flight or even a lunch break. It's built for speed.
Now, even though it's not a story with a beginning, middle, and end, it's not just a random jumble of quotes either. It does have a structure. Everything is sorted into these big, powerful themes. So if you want to know what he thinks about leadership, you can just flip right to that section. Or maybe you want to know about his take on failure. Boom, there it is.
Okay, so if we're going to stick with our logging in idea, what's the user experience like? What are the big strengths of this kind of guest mode access to Jack Ma's brain? It really boils down to these three words. It's fast, for sure, it's designed to be inspirational, and because it's literally his own words, it feels incredibly direct. You're not getting someone else's take on what he said, you're getting the raw quote. And you can see that readers really connect with that. One reviewer just nailed it, saying the book has great pearls of wisdom under layers of humble. You get this feeling that you're getting the real deal straight from the man himself.
And this idea of it being easy to get into is a huge theme. Here's another reader pointing it out, calling it a short read but packed with information. For anyone who's super busy and just wants a quick shot of motivation, this format is an absolute home run. And this feeling kind of gets to the core of the appeal. Because you're reading his direct quotes, you feel like you're getting this unfiltered look into his mind. It leaves you with the impression that Jack Ma comes across as open, which, let's be honest, is exactly why you'd pick up a book like this in the first place.
But there's always a but, right? Every guest pass has its limits. There's always some fine print. So what are the downsides? What do you not get with this book?
And here we go. This is it. This is the single biggest criticism, and this reader summed it up perfectly. The book has no flow. Because it's a collection of quotes, it feels really disconnected, like a random series of nuggets of wisdom that are missing the story that ties them all together.
So, this brings us to the core trade-off of the whole thing. It's pretty simple. On one side, you get these awesome little wisdom nuggets, you get quick motivation, and you get direct quotes. But what you're giving up is huge. You don't get the context, you don't get the story, the narrative flow, and you definitely don't get any deep analysis of why he said these things.
Another thing that comes up is that, well, some of the insights feel like pure gold, but others can feel a little generic. Like this reviewer puts it, some quotes are truly profound, but others feel like things we would have heard elsewhere. A motivational quote without the story behind it can sometimes just fall a little flat.
In fact, for some readers, this scattered feeling and the lack of depth was such a big deal that it led them to a pretty stark conclusion. They started to wonder if this was really a book at all, in the way we usually think of one, or if it was more like a compilation that maybe wasn't worth the full price.
So let's put it all together. Where does that leave us? Let's get to the verdict. Who is this book actually for? And probably more importantly, is it for you?
Okay, let's just break it down. The type of book? It's a collection of quotations. Who's it perfect for? Someone who wants quick, motivational insights. Who should probably avoid it? Anyone looking for a deep story or real analysis. And the biggest drawbacks? It just lacks that cohesion, that context, and that depth.
Let me be even more direct. This book is for you if you just need a quick pep talk. If you want bite-sized inspiration you can jot down on a sticky note, if you're hunting for a great quote about entrepreneurship to use in a presentation, or if you're the kind of person who loves to just dip in and out of a book for a single thought, this could be absolutely perfect for you.
On the flip side, you should probably just skip this one if you want the actual story of how Jack Ma built Alibaba. If you need to understand the why behind the what, if you're craving a deep, satisfying biography you can really sink your teeth into, this is not it. And if a jumpy, fragmented reading experience just drives you nuts, then yeah, you'll want to look somewhere else.
Which brings us all the way back to the beginning. When you want to access the mind of someone like Jack Ma, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for guess mode? A quick, inspirational, but pretty limited peek inside? Or are you looking for a full account? The deep, contextual, narrative story? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about whether Never Give Up belongs on your bookshelf.